Well, good morning, Business 10 students. This is Mr. Doucette, and this is week number 5 of our 16-week course of Introduction to Business here at Norco College. And I wanted to share with you, of course, a little bit about the assignments you completed last week, as well as the ones that you will be working on this week. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. And there we go. So we're on the home page of our course in Canvas, and we are in module number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Actually, we start module 2 today. And so module 2 will be looking at chapter 7, chapter 9, chapter 10, and chapters 11 and 12. But just to back up a little bit into week number 4, last week we ended our course, our first module, by looking at chapters 6 and 8. And those were on entrepreneurship and starting a small business and structuring your business, things like that. So you guys did a check-in assignment on both chapters. You also did a homework assignment on the entrepreneurial assessment. And this is just to give you an idea of whether or not you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Now, no assessment is accurate 100%, but at least it gives you a starting point to see what areas you might need to work on to improve, or whether or not it's something that you would even venture to do, because some people just don't want to take on that responsibility and that level of work to start their own business. They'd rather work for somebody else, and that's perfectly fine. But either way, you get a chance to kind of evaluate yourself. Of course, you completed your first discussion post on how businesses can serve everybody, not just their shareholders, but how they can serve the community, how they can serve other stakeholders. So that's a very valuable TED Talk that you guys watched and that you commented on, and that you gave other students feedback on their comments. And then you did your first exam in chapter 1, although it says I needed to add chapter 8 to that. I believe I did that already. But either way, we're moving now into week number 5, and you're going to be having, once again, another check-in assignment as we look at the topic of leadership. And so it's a great topic. There's a lot of different theories on leadership. There's different kinds of leadership within a business. There's top executive leaders, there's middle management, and of course there's line supervisors and direct supervisors, things like that, managers. So there's a difference between leadership and management, and I want you to see that difference as you study the chapter. And in fact, your homework assignment is asking you some questions about what are the similarities and what are the differences between leadership and management. And so I've given you some videos to watch and some questions to answer, and that is your homework assignment. For this week, you also have a quiz on chapter 7, and then you're going to be starting a new discussion post number 2. You have about 4 to 5 weeks to complete this, but it's a video by Dan Pink on what motivates people. And it's very valuable for you to know, especially if you're ever going to be a manager or a leader in an organization, is how do you motivate people to work, and what kind of attitudes do people have, and what are the different theories for motivating people, and the really fascinating stuff. And I promise you that you will fully enjoy the TED Talk, and you will really like the topic. It's one of the more interesting topics in this class. What does it take to motivate people? And so that's what you'll be reviewing this week as you look at leadership and management. And I believe in next week you look directly at that topic of motivation, so it kind of ties a little bit more into next week's chapter. But you have 4 weeks to do that discussion post anyway. So that's pretty much it for week number 5. Remember, I do have office hours on Monday at 1:30 to 12:30 to 1:45. I have office hours on Wednesday at 10 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. I have those are both in-person office hours. I have virtual office hours on Thursday from 10 to noon. So if you need to get a hold of me any of those times, I'd be happy to meet with you and discuss your grade, discuss your assignments, or anything that you may need to make up. So anyway, have a great week. You will